The most historically interesting street in Carbonear is Water Street. As you may have guessed from the name, it's on the harbor. It's where the town's original mercantile stores were built. Some of those commercial buildings have been turned into restaurants. Hot Line Café occupies Carbonear's old telephone exchange building. Given that bit of info and the restaurant's name, you're probably imagining an eatery with a telephone or telecommunications theme, and you'd be partly right. Hot Line's front window features a large photo of a 1930s telephone operator. Inside, there are replica vintage telephones, framed telephone company adverts, and a plug cord switchboard that's been sitting idle since the building shut in 1961. Hot Line's prevailing theme is 1950s pop culture. Everything about the decor speaks to that era. Guests are accommodated at chrome kitchen tables, set with diner-style stainless napkin dispensers, and drink coasters that look like 45 RPM records. Black and white publicity photos from 1950s TV shows like I Love Lucy, Father Knows Best, American Bandstand, Car 54, Where Are You? And others are everywhere. Much of what appeared on the luminous yellow retro menu card in hot red letters was diner fare. We started with thin but flavor-rich soup and a tauten, pea soup with root vegetables and bits of salt meat, which wasn't salty at all. To be fair, salt and pepper shakers had been placed on every table. Hot Line's tautens were curious. They looked like donuts, round with a hole in the center. I enjoyed them, but they're as far from traditional Newfoundland tautens as a flapjack is from a crepe. Hot Line's tautens were very airy and light, without the dense heft of hockey puck tautens. A good pour of molasses would have flattened them. Hot Line's chili with tautens looked great, but it was incomplete, like Elvis singing Blue Suede Shoes without the foot action. Lots of good things showed up in the stew: beef, beans, tomatoes, but it missed the developed flavors that come from spices, well-browned meat, and being cooked longer. Chili should also be spicy hot, maybe not overwhelmingly hot, but hot. I had the special spaghetti and meatballs with a Caesar salad. Imagine the kind of Caesar salad you'd make at home on a weeknight with those boxed croutons, and that's pretty much Hot Line's version. The spaghetti was flabby, a little overcooked, as would have been the case in most diners of the 1950s. But do we have to cook it like it's still the 1950s? The meatballs were smallish and fine. The sauce, much like the chili, was under-seasoned and underdeveloped. Dessert was praiseworthy in all respects. Hot Line's strawberry cake could grace the cover of a book on cake baking. Outside, it was decorated with sugary white and chocolate icing. It was bright pink with the lightness of chiffon cake, and had 2 layers separated by a seam of icing. It stood in a shallow pool of strawberry juice and previously frozen strawberries. This handsome strawberry-flavored gâteau tasted every bit as good as I hoped it would. Hot Line Café receives a good rating of 2 out of 4 stars. Lunch for 2 with tax and tip costs approximately $50. For details, call 709-595-1129.